Hi, good evening. Welcome to Flux Motorsport TV. I'm your host this evening, Lecky_2000, and you're here with us again this evening for the GT1 Championship. So, as per our usual time, it's 8 o'clock on Thursday evening, which is our regular time for our GT1 Championship, and this week is round 3. So we come to you from the United Arab Emirates this week, from the Dubai Autodrome circuit, which it looks from the current track temperatures and the view out on track, it looks like a gloriously warm and sunny day. Track temperatures currently around the 33 degrees, ambient temperature around 27 degrees, and currently we are taking a look on board with Linga Bazinga. So as he's just come back into the pits, so a little bit about us and who we are. So Flux Motorsport, if you're just tuning into us, is a clean sim racing community that is currently hosting primarily Project Cars 2 related sim racing events. So if you want to know more about Flux Motorsport, please do go over to fluxmotorsport.com and look for the driver sign up button, or you can scroll through and take a look about any of our information and any of the special events or community competitions that we also run in the background. So, well, like I said, around here it's going to be warm today at Dubai. Warm track temperatures, possibly not as warm as you may expect for it to get in some of the summer months of Dubai, but certainly enough to be causing the guys a bit of an issue with the track temperatures, trying to get a setup so it's got the longevity out here, so they don't have to change tyres too many times, but also that's got the amount of grip, so they can try and really swing it into some of the tighter, faster corners here through the initial first sector. So just on board with Snarling Bongo, another of our Dutch drivers, just like Linga Bazinga. Again, these guys race together, so familiar with each other's racing style. I'm currently setting a 1-2 out here on our qualifying session. So just 5 minutes or so left to go in our qualifying session. So what I'll do is I'll try and give you a little rundown of our performances from last week. So what are the scores, George Doors? So coming into this round, we have Linga Bazinga at the top of the shop in first place, quickly followed by Jack de Menzies, and by a driver who's absent with us this week, Tibby, who's currently totting up third place. This was after a very contentious drop from Bruce Law, I believe, in the last race. So Bruce Law not managing to get a start in the last race due to a disconnection, which I believe is no fault of his own. Just one of those Project Cars 2 glitches, unfortunately, at this stage, but it has affected his championship standings, and it's seen Bruce Law drop all the way from second all the way back down to 5th place. So sandwiched in between Tibby in third and Bruce in 5th place, we have J46 Dyson. Dyson currently setting a 151 and is 7th on track. So just another quick rundown of the order from there. So we've got Dirk Diggler in 6th. Dirk Diggler is also absent tonight. He's not managing to make it. Murphy coming up in 7th. DJ Ledger coming up in 8th, who was a cameo driver last week, but because of a retirement from the championship this week in Quiet Man, DJ Ledger's taken that position, so his points from last week will still stand. So 23 points coming there from DJ Ledger from a strong performance from him last week. Just behind him is Immortalis. Immortalis, again, he was absent this week. Currently coming in 9th with 20 points. Just behind him, Luke 42 in 10th place. Alright Turkish in 11th, who was going to be joining us this evening, but I believe he's had some technical difficulties with the car and he's not going to be entering the race tonight. But was dying to get in, but unfortunately that's going to affect his performance there, down in 11th place. Snarling Bongo, who we're currently watching out on track here, in 12th place. Stott in 13th place. T. Scott is another driver that's retiring from this championship. He's unable to commit to the schedule going forward. And an Old Smoke here who's currently in 15th, who's yet to score any points in the championship after joining us late on. So that's currently the running order so far. Let's try and take a little look through at some of our drivers. So Linga Bazinga is still currently in first place, setting a steady 148.3. Yeah, that's a nice quick lap time there from Linga Bazinga. Linga Bazinga currently our fastest pole position finisher in the championship. 100% of the races entered finished first. That's 2 out of 2 so far with Linga Bazinga. In fact, just coming to our stats and standings, Linga Bazinga currently getting the full sweep there. So it's for our drivers this week, I think, to try and knock Linga Bazinga from that top spot. As you see Bruce going around there, so the panel's struggling there in the final sector. Bruce is getting out quickly enough there to possibly get another quick lap in. So back on board with Linga Bazinga. Heavy on the brakes there, it looks like, coming down that long straight section, which the Toyotas are going to be desperately searching for. The Toyotas really going to struggle around this track with the limited mechanical grip that they've gotten, requirement of high speed corners for the Aero, so not going to be able to get the benefit of those long legs in the Toyota this week, unfortunately. So the Mercedes really looking like it's set to fly here, closely followed by the panels. I think both these cars capable on the short tracks. Panels possibly struggling a little bit more with the tyres around here, so we'll see how this pans out though. Like I said, currently 2 Dutch guys out in front with Linga Bazinga and Sterling Bongo, followed by Bruce Law. So just take a little look at our timing boards here, if we can nip over to them. So it looks like 1:48 is going to be our quickest lap, and then quite a big jump there between Martin 65, or Jalmer as he's known, who is currently a reserve driver in our GT1 Championship, just joined us this week to fill in 1 or 2 of the spots from our regular drivers that are missing. But clearly setting a quick lap time in there in 4th spot in the 1:48, and then a bit of a jump there between those guys and then the Toyota of Jack Dementis. So just getting that set up right, I think, there for Jack. Still manages to stay just in punching distance, but second half away to 2 seconds away, he's going to be struggling there to try and make up anything better than just outside the pole position. So not too long in our qualifying session left here now, just 4 or 5 seconds in this actual session, and the guys will then need to come in and finish their remaining laps. So they do get the countdown just to finish this lap off and come into the pits. But as we've seen so far throughout the qualifying session, a couple of our quicker guys there just managing to get a little bit foiled by some of the banked corners, mixture between banked and non-banked sections, or positive and negative camber sections at Dubai, which you know, those negative camber sections do tend to catch you out. And as we see 074 Leggy, who is looking like he's going to potentially join us from the reserves, starting from this week by the looks of things. So he's a brand new driver out here in our GT1 Championship, currently sitting in 6th place in the green and gold Sauber Mercedes livery, capable lap times, and lo and behold it, what would you know, just in front of the other Leggy that we have, DJ Leggy, which obviously, if you guys are familiar with FluxMotorsport and our championships, then you'll know that these guys are related and love to race together. It's a family occasion every time. So just a minute to go in our qualifying session. It looks like Linga Bazinga is going to make the pole position yet again. So again, 100% out of all races entered, 3 out of 3 so far. And we'll just see if we can stay on board with Luke there. So Luke not putting a better time in, and that does look like it's the end of our qualifying session. So Linga Bazinga hitting the top of the shop here, but Sterling Bongo. So Sterling Bongo, we've seen some limited results from Sterling Bongo. Performances I think that Sterling Bongo himself would have preferred to do better in. And I think that's coming through now so far in this race at Dubai with the 1:48.4 set there. Shortly followed by Bruce Law in 3rd spot as expected. Bruce Law getting into the second row there, up top 3 drivers on the grid. So just as we come over into our race session, just waiting for our drivers to get ready, get their setups just about tweaked and tested, get the final changes made between the qualifying and the ultimate race setups, and then we should be able to get this race underway. So just whilst the drivers are getting ready, like I said, if you do want to go and check us out on the website, or if you just joined us on YouTube or on the stream, then welcome. We're just about to get underway for our third race at Dubai in the United Arab Emirates in our GT1 Championship at Flux Motorsport. So do feel free to hit the like and subscribe button and the bell notification thing on YouTube to get subscribed to all our videos and notified when we post something online. If that's a bit much for you and you just want the updates to your news feed or whatever, then do feel free to take a look at us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter and usual social media avenues where you can find out all of our great and good information about how to join up to the championships, how to get involved in our community races or any of the special events that we run regularly. So if that sounds like it's for you and you want to get involved, like I said, that website is fluxmotorsport.com. One thing I have been asked to say is Flux Motorsport is a non-profit organisation, so it's a community interest company, and everything that Flux Motorsport do is completely voluntary based and is done for the interests of the community. So any donations that people like to give in support of what we do here, if you do like our videos, please feel free to go onto the website and hit the buy us a coffee button, I believe it's called, because you know we all like a coffee, so that would be most appreciative. So 27 seconds or 30 seconds so to get into our race for round 3 of our GT1 Championship here. Again, Linga Bazinga, like we expected, a steady performance from him, but nice to see a 1-2 from the Dutch counterparts there. And I believe our new cameo driver, our reserve driver Jelmet, is also Dutch, so potentially you might see a 1-2-3 Dutch finish here. So just as we get out on grid and we start to get underway, just waiting for the countdown of the lights, and I believe we are on the starters orders, and away we go. So that is green, and the guys are off the line. So that is Linga Bazinga with a decent start, Snell and Bongo getting a decent start, but that is Jack de Menzies kind of coming up strong there, managing to stick in 4th place. So 1-2-3 just as they expected. Brewster's taking a little look on the outside there, minor contact there between Bruce and Snell and Bongo as they come through the left-handed section there into sector 1, and it stays in 1-2-3. It looks like we've got a little bit of action there just behind, as we saw Murphy just coming up into 4th place and Jack de Menzies. So these two just getting involved in a bit of action last week at Daytona. But Murphy looks like he's got the better of Jack here, and looks like he's got the new driver of 074 Ledgy just behind him, making it hard work for him. So 074 just coming around the outside now, trying to get the better of Jack. Jack just getting a decent line there as 074 just runs a little bit wide. So back over into the battle that we've got for 2nd place here, as it happens for 1st place now. Snell and Bongo just managing to get himself a little bit free of Bruce Law, and it does look like Linga Bazinga's managed to drop a little bit of pace there from his qualifying times, but as we expected, a little bit of a gap already opening up here at the coming towards the end of lap 1. So last few sections here. So it was a great start there that we saw from Jack getting up on the inside, but it looks like in the first couple of corners Murphy's managed to get the jump on him. So whether that was defending, I'm not too sure, but these Toyotas really trying to go for it here. I didn't look too pacey in qualifying, but maybe these drivers just trying to play something tactical and just trying to get the car set up for a race pace. So 2 minutes to go, just coming into lap 2 here, as we're on board with Jack de Menzies, who looks like he's just got in front of Murphy there. So potential mistake there from Murphy in section 3. You can recognise Jack again with the red stripe on the top of his windscreen, and Murphy just behind with the black stripe on the top of his, and now Murphy being pressured from Ledgy. So our new driver looking like he's having a double brake there, and just make a little bit of space there for that Toyota, as the Toyota is going to be trying to get the power down, trying to stay in the straight line basically, and not overheat those tyres. It's going to be the biggest issue that I think he's got here, strong sweeping line. So Murphy struggling to try and see 074 Ledgy off, but it does look like they've got a little bit of gap between these two and DJ just behind him. DJ looks like he's having his own battle there in the background with Dyson. So DJ and Dyson both in the CLKs, again with the bright luminous green lipstick that he's got on the front of the CLK there, which is very distinctive. But Dyson giving DJ a bit of a hard time here. Both these guys similar in qualifying pace. So they start to open up here. Let's go back to our leaders, see if we can get a look at Linga Bazinga. And as expected, Linga Bazinga running away with it, but it does look like Snarling Bongo's just made a mistake, and it looks like the Jack's just taking a move around the outside as we come into turn 1. And it looks like Jack's just got his way through. Jack managing to stay through, but it looks like Murphy's possibly going to get in on the action here as these two are fighting for track position. So we'll stay on board with the battle for third place here, as we know that Toyota's got a lot of legs on it, and I think that's Snarling Bongo just getting out of the way of the dirty air that the Toyota's creating there, as opposed to trying to take the jump. And we are missing Snarling Bongo, so that looks like he's got a bit of a spin there just coming into that section, as we didn't see him exit from that corner, and that's allowed Murphy to take a jump up to 4th. And now it's just the Toyotas that are slowly surely picking off these Mercedes, so that's really unfortunate though. So just coming through that sector now though is the battle for 7th place, as we've got 074 Leggy, which looks like he's that little run on the outside onto the corner, onto the long straight, is just taking some time off him, and he's got him involved now in a battle for 8th place. So that's Jelma dropping down the action from 4th from the grid all the way down to 8th. So didn't do too great out of the initial blocks here at Dubai, but he is trying to try and make up track time now. 1:56 last lap for Jelma, as you can see obviously from that mistake there from 074 Leggy with a 2-minute lap time. He's definitely pulling time in on the car in front, but corner to corner on this lap it doesn't look quite as big as it might do on the timing board. So Jelma will be trying to get that move done on 7th place. I do expect him to try and make a move here, coming from 4th in qualifying, as long as he hasn't picked up any damage. So 5 minutes through in our session, just a quick rundown of our order here so far. So in first so far we have Linga Bazinga with a clear and comfortable almost 4-second lead now, just as he comes into turn 1, closely followed by Bruce Law. Bruce Law not getting the best start, but after a bit of a ragged first couple of laps, managing to fight his way up past through Snarling Bongo and get his way into 2nd place. Then in 3rd is Jack de Menezes, but I think this is not yet done for these Toyotas. As we've seen, Toyotas can be quick round here, but also do struggle when they start to get offline. So 3rd and 4th, great to see the Toyotas picking up places where we thought they would struggle here, but not over yet. Dyson currently on track fighting with Snarling Bongo, so Snarling Bongo coming back up through the order, trying to make up some track time, try and get back in with these leaders. Just managing to make his way past Dyson though. Both the cars going side by side, didn't see contact there, but maybe one for these stewards' inquiries. So all these guys run in-car cameras, in-car race cameras, so they can all get their footage reviewed afterwards. So, and just coming into the again end of long straight into this very hard braking tight right hand corner, you've got to be super careful on the exit and make sure that you don't over rotate, which Leggy almost does there. Manages to keep the power controlled on the throttle, manages to not get it to spin. It does mean he's had to come a little bit wide on the apex of that corner though, so potentially dropping time. So that is going to be Jelma just getting in there behind him, but just as we see in front, Dyson still sticking with Snarling Bongo, so I don't think this is potentially all the way done yet for Snarling Bongo. Previous lap times 1:58 compared to Dyson's 1:51, so Dyson is really putting in quickish lap times now, up there ready for a jump onto 4th place, should he be able to. So these guys I think are going to keep battling out here if Dyson can stick with him down the end of the pit straight. And Leggy and Martin or Jelma just behind these guys. not enough to benefit from the aero or draft that they might have been receiving from each other. We certainly will be conscious that the guys in front are going pretty close and potentially could end up fighting on track. So just take a little bit of a look down, and it looks like Old Smokey's taking a pit, so that's damage there from Old Smokey. Looks like he's taking a scuff there on the front left hand corner of that car, potentially down the on the full left hand side there, as you can see some damage to the front quarter panel there. So that's Old Smokey in the pit, and he does look considerable as well. So potentially he's got involved in the accidents and scuffles that were going into turn 1 and 2 there. As we take a look at DJ Leggy now. So DJ Leggy again, expected him to be around about 7th or 8th from his qualifying time. Got a little bit of a bum deal from the start of that race. You can see the contact there, and it's just showing up on the front right hand side of that white and yellow Moggering livery number 8 car. So DJ potentially rocking a little bit of damage there. 152 in his lap time, not too bad. So he is trying to rein Stoltz in, which we might see with 35 minutes left in this session. Track temperatures pretty much remaining the same, 33 degrees C, and there's no real suspicion of that changing too much. So I would expect DJ to try and want to work his way back up the order here. We take a look on board with Snelling Bongo. So Snelling Bongo has managed to make his way up past Leggy and Dyson, and he's now starting to sniff around on the back of Murphy. So clearly got the lap times here, but a slight over rotation or catching too much rubbers as he tries to come down the inside of Murphy there. Murphy just letting him through essentially though, taking a wider line on that apex. As you can see, Snelling Bongo's clearly got a difference in speed there from the lap times. We'll be able to notice that gap closing up in the rear view mirror as you've got the driver closing in on you, and rather than get involved in any potential accidents on track, Murphy's potentially made a smarter move there, letting Snelling Bongo through there, potentially hoping for another spin. So we'll stick with these guys to see whether Murphy can bring that lap time down, because that looks like a slow lap time from him there on that last lap. So I'm not quite sure. We didn't catch that as a spin. And sorry, just going into that, we've just behind that action, we've got Jelmer and we've got Leggy just eventually going for that move. So Jelmer managing to close that gap up lap on lap, coming into 35 minutes here, and that's a battle for 8th place. As it also looks like we've got a battle for 2nd place almost about to start coming up on track as well. If we just switch over to, yep, so we've got, it looks like potentially Bruce Logwin in the back of some back markers now, which has held him up a little bit. So is that Mike that I think they've started to lap now? Luke, yes indeed, sorry, my apologies, that's Luke 42. They've just started to lap. So potentially Linga Bazinga getting held up a little bit there, but certainly starting to close Linga Bazinga in. Drop that gap down to 1 second from the 3 second. So I expect we've potentially got a bit of action that's going to end up here later on in this race, depending on how the guys are going to start approaching the pit stop strategy. As we see a lock up there from Leggy, so that is a little bit of pressure from Jelmer there, as 074 Leggy has gone round. So just to clarify, that's 074, not DJ Leggy. That's the green and gold cement livery there, as you can see. Just a little bit over egged it into turn 1. Unfortunately went round there, so that's dropped him down to 8th spot and let Martin or Jelmer through. Sorry if you guys are thinking who's Jelmer, keep referring to him as Jelmer or Jelmer to his mates, but his name on PSN is Martin. Good strong name, Martin. My name's Martin, so I can get on board with that. But yeah, just as we're looking on board with Dyson here, so Dyson's currently just sniffing around the back of Murphy, and that is Jelmer just in the background there, as we've just seen him go past Leggy. So this is really going to be a mid-pack battle here, I think, for 5th place, and potentially, as we see, Linga Bazinga and Bruce Largo in toe-to-toe, which I think essentially we have. So apologies we've missed that, but Linga Bazinga's dropped back here, and it looks like Bruce Law's gone through. So I don't think that's a mistake. I think that is just tyre temperatures from Linga Bazinga, as we see him running wide there into that corner, and I think he's really struggling to get the car to remain on the straight and narrow. You see him twitching at the wheel there. So I think that is going to be lap time dropping off from Linga Bazinga. So I'll try and keep you posted on how we get on with that, and whether he falls further down that order. But I think that's going to be a bit of a theme now, potentially, as Jack and Snell and Bongo try and rein that gap in, I think. So, but Dyson's not done with Murphy here, as we can see him currently less than a second behind Murphy, coming onto pit straight into turn one. Again, this quick downhill right-hander. It's not actually the smoothest of corners, that, and then it snaps it into that quick left-hander and wants to throw the car around. Car needs to be set up quite planted so it can exchange the weight quite well, but not too much so you're losing traction due to lack of mechanical grip in some of these slower, more banked sections, which is what's really needed. So he's sticking on board here. This is again for battle for 5th place. So 15 minutes gone so far this 45-minute session, just about 30 minutes or so remaining. So about the third of the way through now, the guys are going to be starting to be thinking about fuel and tyres soon. Most of the guys try and go for a midway point, I believe, when it comes to if they do need to stop for oh, and is that Murphy going round there? So I think it is. That's a spin there from Murphy just coming into the end of the that long straight there. So that's really unfortunate, on the back straight as you might call it. Murphy dropping a position there, so he comes back on track, and he's got Martin and Leggy, or Jelmer and Leggy, just behind him. We're going to have got a better run, and potentially the Toyota's going to want to try and over-rotate even further if the tyres have just overheated going round. So the driver will normally have to slow a little bit to try and account for that, allowing the guys just behind him just to start bunching up. So again, there could be anybody's race this year between, and that's got very wide there from Jelmer, so we'll be receiving track limits. And I think that's Luke 42 that's gone round there on the last corner. The guy's doing well just to avoid that. Luke really struggling there in that Mercedes. It does look like he's got a lot of front end damage there. It looks like he's hit a lamppost. If I'm honest, it looks like he's got some severe front end damage on that car. But the battle here between Dyson in 5th all the way down to 8th place really could have been anybody's throughout the first 15 minutes of this race, but we might see this start to space out now, and really the battle's going to be a little bit more towards the front, and we'll see whether Jack can start to pull Linga Bazinga in, or whether an early pit stop and the more soft tyres for Linga Bazinga is going to you're going to try and get him back in front of Bruce Law. So we'll see. So we'll take a look on board with our leader now. So Bruce Law currently set the 151s, which is quite a way away from the 148s we've seen him qualifying. Again, we know the cars are running with a lot more weight due to the amount of fuel that they've got in the race, which will again have an impact on the tyres, how much the tyres are overheating, and will start to have a somewhat lesser effect as they go through the race. So we do have to account for that, and like I said, I am expecting to see at least 1 or 2 pit stops that are not damage related, purely for tyres, due to overheating of tyres. So it looks like we've got a little bit more action. It looks like Murphy has potentially made another mistake. He's dropped down to 8th spot there, and it is allowed for DJ Legit, sorry, it's for all 74 Legit and for Jelmer or Martin to come up through into 6th and 7th place. And it looks like we've got Old Smoky in the pit stop in the background again. Yeah, that's Old Smoky coming in. Doesn't look again for tyres this time, so potentially this is damage related. So Old Smoky not having a great time of it here at the moment. So take a look on board with the other Toyota. So we've seen quite a bit of Murphy's Toyota today, but number 27 Toyota, that SO Toyota of Jack de Mendez. So Jack currently in third. Jack loving third for some reason. Seems to get third quite a lot in our races. Seems to come third in quite a lot of our championships. So 3 being the magic number, I feel, for Jack. But yeah, currently in third place here. Reasonable lap times, 1:52, but certainly not around the quickest of the first couple of cars. And Snell and Bongo putting in quicker lap times here than Jack. But again, consistency, I think, being Jack's forte, and managing to remain quite quick for a long time, managing to pay off. So that's given that he's not involved in any turn 1 and turn 2 major incidents, which I think he managed to largely avoid here today. Not quite the case for Daytona last week, unfortunately. So, and you see coming hard there onto the brakes into the final sector. So a bit of a struggle here with the Toyota again. I keep saying this, but it's not got a front wing, that car. It's a really difficult car to try and set up without being able to adjust all of the aspects that you expect to be able to on any given car. So Jack will have tried to spend a little bit of time in the garage, no doubt, this week, trying to get the car just to behave around this track, and then no doubt he'll take the setup off the car, throw it away, and won't use it again up until he comes to Dubai. I can't think of another track that's quite set up, or quite requires the requirement setups like Dubai. It has quite the nature of the turns and corners that this does. So it looks like Murphy's coming in the pits. So it looks like, yep, that is damage, and that car is crabbing heavily, so that looks like a lot of damage. Potentially that car could well even be retired. That looks like potential structural chassis damage. I'd be surprised if there's not broken bones. That looks like a hell of a lot of damage there. So Murphy really struggling there. Potentially could get tyres here whilst he's still in the pits. And we see Luke coming in the pits as well, which is potentially going to allow Mike to get up off of that is. So Mike himself taking a bit of damage, but that's up away from the bottom spot from Mike, which has been holding up currently for this rate. Mike is a GT1 reserve driver, so coming for a cameo race with us this evening, trying to keep his skills honed and into the swing of things. And that's up to 11th position for Mike Purr. I just wonder whether he's got the dog Molly with him in the seat next to him. He does try and bring the dogs to the track with him, which is always a good show. But yeah, heavy pit stop I think for Murphy. Still remaining in the pit stops third, so just being released now. It's going to affect his ability to try and catch back up the order. So I think it's going to be a case of just trying to do damage limitation now for Murphy. Got the 25 minutes left in session as he gets released just behind Jack Demenses, actually out on track in 9th place. So Jack Demenses, as we said, was just trying to potentially rein in that gap to Linga Bazinga. And is that Luke again going round? I think that is Luke again going round there. So a wild spin there from Luke, just trying to catch the car to try and save some contact with the wall there. And you saw a lot of smoke coming through. A bit of a flash there from Jack, which I think was just letting Murphy through there. Oh, sorry, just for Murphy allowing him through there. So these guys, I think potentially team tactics here, just letting one through if one's faster than the other, as you would expect. So let's just try and take a look at Snell and Bongo. So Snell and Bongo had a great qualifying. He was second on the grid, and then in turn 3, I think it was, or turn 4, I just seemed to go a little bit too wide on the rubbers, and we didn't see him reappear. Got back into the action, started fighting again in between Jack and Murphy, and then disappeared again. So a couple of spins there, I think, in the first few laps from Snell and Bongo. And again, not a great last lap from him from here. However, clearly has got pace, putting in quick lap times, 1:48 in qualifying, and certainly 1:50s, 1:51s in race pace. Track temperature has risen a little, gone up a degree or so, but I can't see it. That's going to be affecting the tyre temperatures way too much, and we're going to require too much of a different driving style because of that. And I think that's Snell and Bongo coming up to Murphy. And one of the drivers we've not taken too much of a look at here today is Stoltz. So this is Stoltz's second race out with us, I believe, this season. Came into the season just a rate race. Just one race late even. And looks like he's coming here to pit. Potentially this is a tactical pit stop. Again, looks like another bit of damage there. So again, another car that's coming into the pitways, crabbing a little bit with the front not quite steering the same way as the back. So that might be another damage repair there. So we see Stoltz in the pit stop. And that does look like a little bit of damage. We see crack in the front headlight there. So that is going to be a longer pit stop than he would like. And isn't going to see him catch up anywhere near to Murphy at the in 9th place. So I think he's going to be there for a little while longer, just while they settle underneath the bonnet of the of that Panos. So Mike choosing the Porsche in the GT1 category. Not seen the Porsche chose since last season. Not a common car choice in this category. Great looking car, great sounding car, but is quite difficult to get it to go quite the same speed in the corners as the other cars, or quite the same speed in the straights as the Toyota. But not actually a bad car if you can get it to behave. So let's hope if Mike can get that to work for him, and potentially get himself into the GT1 Championship for the rest of the season. It'd be great to see another Porsche in there. So yeah, just sticking with the battle with essentially for Linga Bazinga and Jack Demenges for second place. So just trying to see whether Jack could close that gap up. He's managing to stick with Linga Bazinga by and large, with not too much of a difference in the lap times, a couple of tenths here and there, as these guys tend to start to struggle now with tyres starting to go overheat and with limited grip due to wear now. Obviously, as the tyres have less rubber, theoretically there's less of a contact. That's right. There's actually less rubber to roll over itself for the given contact patch on the floor, and it affects the way that the tyres heat. So the guys have to think about that as they're coming into the races. You can't just treat it like it's a qualifying session and that there's a full amount of rubber on those tyres. You've got to moderate the way that you drive the car because of that. So, like I said, I do expect some of the guys to come in for pits. 18 minutes or so left in session, but I suspect one or two drivers might actually try and push it out here on the hards and try and go for literally as long as they can without trying to get that car to come in. I don't think we'll see as far the tyres going threadbare, I think, on this, but I think we will see a pit stop from most people. I think it's just a matter of who flinches first. So, but Jack Demenz is currently 8 seconds behind our leader, but only about 3.5 seconds behind Linga Bazinga, which he's been for the last 5 or 6 laps at least. So we'll try and keep an eye on that. Another potential piece of action on track is between Snell and Bongo and Dyson, who we're currently watching out on track here. So Dyson currently setting in quicker lap times, about a second quicker than Snell and Bongo. But again, Snell and Bongo able to put quick lap times in when under pressure. It's just a consistency there. I think it just doesn't quite seem to be there quite in the same category as Linga Bazinga, but certainly the speed definitely is. So Dyson's got his work cut out from here if he wants anything better than 5th spot. Dyson, again, he's had a bit of a difficult season this season, Dyson. Capable in the GT1 category. If you just see one of the Toyotas, they're just kind of getting out of the way. But yeah, he's struggled, I think, with a bit of contact in race 1. And then again, difficult race in the wet at Daytona, which was unusual for this time of year, wet weather conditions. But the heavens did open on us, and it did make a a very interesting race. So, but did make for a little bit of contact in the first couple of laps, just coming into the infield section there at Daytona. So Dyson will have felt he can do better than that. Currently sat in 5th place, so a good position out here on track, and is currently reining Sterling Bongo in, like I said, at 2nd or so a lap. So a couple of seconds here outside, and I think that is Sterling Bongo that we see just in front. So another driver, our other Dutch driver, other than Snelling and Linger, is Jelmer. Great to see Jelmer here as a reserve, and great to see him doing well. So a good drive here for probably our best drive from one of our reserve drivers. So I think it's only just a matter of time before Jelmer gets his way into the GT1 Championship. I know he's currently already on our reserve list and chomping at the bit to get going. It certainly looks like he'd make a welcome addition to our championship. But currently we're holding 6th place, capable lap times 1:53, steady lap times as well, not seeing too much in terms of mistake here. But it does look like we've had a bit of a mistake with Bruce Law and Jack, so there is battling going out on track currently. Jack has gone past Bruce Law and taken 2nd place. Doesn't look like there's too much in terms of damage on Bruce's car. Could well just been a spin, or whether it is indeed tyre temperatures now playing a big part of this, and it affecting the panel's ability to maintain quick lap times. 1:52 previous lap though from Bruce, so still up there in terms of what the car's capable of, but as we know, in hot temperatures the tyres can fall off very, very quickly as soon as the temperature starts to rise. So currently still at 34 degrees, so the more you use the tyres, the more they heat, and the more that gets worse, so it can have a compounded effect actually. So Bruce down to 3rd spot, and Jack Demens is up to 2nd, so breaking the convention and going for a 2nd spot. Maybe Jack can change it and get 2 as his new magic number, and slowly but surely, fingers crossed, make it a 1. So nice to see Jack on the podium again. And if we just go over to our driver stats, I'll just give you a couple of bits and bobs of information about our driver stats so far for this season. So this is from the races that they've entered, or races that they've physically started in, not necessarily from all the races all told, but just some percentages. So Bruce Law, we're currently out on track with, is currently at 100% on the podium, 100% in the top 10, but with no wins currently, so currently without a win this season. Just take a little look at Jack Demens is currently in 2nd spot. Jack Demens has been in, this is his 3rd race so far this season, so 2 completed already. Again, 100% the podium, 100% in the top 10, but no wins yet for Jack either, because unfortunately they have gone to Linga Bazinga, who is currently at 100%. So race wins, pole positions, the clean sweep as they would call it, he's 2 for 2. So this would be 3 for 3 for Linga Bazinga, coming into this session with the pole position from qualifying. So we've got 13 minutes left in this second, and it looks like we've got some action with Dyson. So Dyson does look like he's caught up to Sterling Bongo eventually, and he's now starting to lay the pressure on them in the last 13 minutes. So let's just say these guys do here. I think potentially the consistency that Dyson's got and that perseverance that he's got might actually cause problems for Sterling Bongo here. Again, we've seen Sterling Bongo's got pace, but when you're being forced to take inside lines, or and you're being forced into making manoeuvres you wouldn't do normally, it can affect lap times quite badly, as we see him go through on the inside, and that is Dyson through. So Sterling Bongo actually letting him have that there. Did want to try and go toe to toe with him though, but I think he just overbroke on that corner, started a little bit of lock up and let the driver through, which was good driving to be fair. So Bruce back out on grid though, back out on the track, just coming up to the back of Jack Demens again after losing a little bit of track position last time from a spin on the previous lap, but looks like he's pulling Jack Demens in. So Jack will be desperate, I guess, to try and get anything out of that third bracket and anything into second. Just try and get those points bumped up. Take a look at our current standings. Jack de Mendes currently is in second, and with another second place here would put him a considerable number of points above Bruce in the running order. Bruce currently on 30 points and Jack on 54, so it would extend that gap further between Jack and Bruce if Jack was to finish above in the running order. And just as you see the yellow indication marker just flashing up there on the timing board, that's just to indicate that the driver is around about a second behind the car in front, or if it's an open wheel car, that it's within the DRS zone and it is primed for overtaking. So you can see Bruce Law just tickling around about the second and a half mark away from Jack in front, as we saw the legs on that Toyota really start to open up on the straight. But I do expect the panels to start closing it back in again under braking, as we see Snell and Bongos coming into the pits. So I think this is potentially, yeah, it does look like a little bit of damage from Snell and Bongo. So eventually one of those spins taking him out, and just causing a bit of an issue. Has let Dyson through, but it's also let Jelmer through and potentially DJ indeed. So but it does look like all 74 legends come in the pit. So again, is this another car with a bit of damage on the front end? No, this could be for tyres then. So we'll just stay with these guys here as they just try and get the car into the pits. Oh no, there is a bit of a scrape down the side of that green car. So whether there's been contact, these guys have come together here, I'm not too sure, but we'll have to take a look at these stewards' inquiries after that. But that's allowed. DJ and Jelmer are actually in very similar livery cars, so teammates here. Out onto into 5th and 6th spot respectively. Now that is not DJ Leggy behind Jelmer that you can see out there on Martin on track. I believe that is the white panels of Stoltz in 11th place. So Stoltz sticking with Jelmer here. Actually not doing too bad there, all the way back in 11th. So I think since Stoltz has come in and got the damage repaired to that panel, that potentially the lap times have come down again. 154s for there from 11th place, so not a bad last lap there from Stoltz. So clearly he's got some lap times in that panels, and he got a great livery on the on that particular 54 car with the toad on the side of it, because it doesn't half look like a frog. So it looks like Mike Purr in the pits in the Porsche as well. So just 8 minutes left in session here. The guys holding out really as long as they can, as 74 Leggy is released from the pits there, and that is Jelmer just coming up to lap Leggy, I think, there. So we'll be under blue flag conditions as he does so. So back on board now with our front runners, should I say, Linga Bazinga and Jack, and just 3 seconds in it now between Jack and Linga, which is not too dissimilar what it's been for the past couple of laps. But Jack now actually starting to pull Linga Bazinga in just a little bit, tenths, hundredths even. So I suspect it probably won't change too much here unless there's a mix-up. But it does look like Bruce Law's dropped off a little bit, and potentially he's taken some damage there on the front of the panels. So a second spin for Bruce there, unfortunately, pulling a 203 that lap. But I think that's pretty much your 1, 2, 3 as we would expect to see it for the race here. Currently in 4th we've got Dyson. So Dyson managed to work his way back up there. Great finish from Dyson, a good strong drive today from him. And Jelmer up to 5th place now, so just holding it out and consistently trying to get a good lap time. I mean, certainly not a slow lap time, but not enough to top the qualifying grid. Just a good strong lap time in, and a consistent lap time, really paying off for both Jelmer and for DJ Leggy, just holding it out here. So both of the white and yellow CLKs here at number 7 and number 8, I believe. in their respective liveries. So Snell and Bongo looks like he's been released from the pits, but still with a bit of damage there, so not potentially getting all his damage repaired, and just trying to do some damage limitation, literally get himself released from that pit box early. As he comes into, again, the really heavy braking. You see the front of that CLK dive down a lot more than you see the Toyota dive down. So the Toyota must be set up much heavier springs, much higher suspension, just to try and account for the weird understeer problem that he's got. So Snell and Bongo will be kicking himself here from 2nd place on the grid all the way down to 7th place. That's a lot of points dropped. Currently on our grid he's sat in 12th place, so we'll be looking to see if he can do better than that over the next couple of races, because as we said, we know he's got some pace in that CLK there. So lap 21, 6 minutes to go left in our session, not too long now. And we're on board with Linga Bazinga, and we'll just try and take a customary ride along with Linga Bazinga as he goes through into our pit straight. So flat out here all the way coming through into turn 1. Heavy, quick corner. Again, not the flattest corner. The car does like to try and switch balance. And then turn 2, you've got that quick switch back where the car tries to kick out. Get another fast corner here. You can get it a little bit too wide there, but not too bad if you've got a reasonable setup. And then such a late apex for that. What really is a triple or quadruple right hand corner, and then again very late left hand corner as we come onto the back straight. And the Toyota here is where the Toyota shines. Starts to open its legs up. CLK's not too much slower there, but certainly the Toyota does outperform it. And then you've got a really heavy braking section as you see him coming onto the brakes at the end of that back straight. And you see the banking there on that left hander, again just replicated here, just very banked corners at Dubai, but they're quite long banked corners, so it does affect the suspension quite a bit. And again flat out down here, so all the way through 5th, 6th gear, and then heavy on the brakes. And again another late corner, but this one is much later than the others, and really tightens at the back of it. Last couple of right-handers, and again a difficult right-hander that one as it comes over the crest of the hill, because it's adverse camber, and again as is this, tends to induce understeer, and it's difficult to try and keep the front of the car in check there rather than the rear, and in and across the line. So 3 minutes left in our session as we go back trackside here with Linga Bazinga. And it looks like DJ has closed up to the back of Jelmer or Martin. So there's just less than a second in it now. There's plenty of time to do it through. Only 3 minutes left in our qualifying session. As you see, Stoltz coming into the pits there. So I think that's again going to be for damage. So Stoltz doing not too bad, but the 222 on his last lap does indicate damage there. So I suspect that'll be another repair job there. So may not get that car back out on session depending on how bad it is. So let's try and stay on board with the battle for 5th spot. It is here. Between the teammates. Now this is interesting, whether he's going to be getting over the team radio as they're going in essentially what are teammate livery cars, whether he's going to be asking him to move aside if his lap times are quicker, and there was a couple of seconds difference there, but I just certainly don't see him trying to get out of the way. I see him getting out of the way to try and not give him his slipstream. So I don't think this is there's going to be any love lost between these two drivers here. Both these drivers have got to want to go for track position. DJ currently setting the quicker lap time. Let's try and take a quicker look at the timing board, as in fact I don't think we need to. DJ just trying to come through on the inside there, as Jelmer's just not managing to make the corners just quite at the speed that DJ is, but DJ not managing to managed to stick through that section, or managed to get through cleanly. So backed out again, but again as we're coming into this long back straight here, hard on the brakes, so it looks like he's a bit quicker in the corners. Potentially his tyres are just lasting a little bit longer here, and he can get the power down earlier. And again having to brake heavily though, just to try and avoid, as Gelman making that car really big there, so really defensive driving there. Nothing that isn't anything untoward, but certainly trying to make the car as big as possible, trying to get the arse end of it as wide as you can through the apex, and then just try and cover your bases on the exit of the corner. Try and make the driver look down the inside line on the way into the corner, but then not actually go for it and shut that door right at the end. So great driving here from Gelman, just old DJF. I suspect DJ might just be biding his time up until they come to the very last lap. So just a minute left in session here, but obviously this counts a minute from when Linga Bazinga crosses the line, and not from when these guys cross the line. So I think potentially it could well just be another lap or so here. Let's just take a quick look on track as these two are battling. So Linga Bazinga just coming through into the last sector, but may well get another lap in here, so we'll just keep a little lookout for that. This could be Linga Bazinga for the win, just coming through onto the last couple of sections here. He may well get across the timing line for another full lap, so I'll try and switch back over, but we'll remain with the action here just whilst it's toe to toe, with Gelman still in front. And 10 seconds left, 8 seconds. It doesn't look like that Linga Bazinga's gonna manage to get across quite in time. So this is the last lap. I think this is for the win, and that is for the win. So that is Linga Bazinga for the win at Dubai. That is 3 out of 3 for Linga Bazinga. But just as we're going through it, I believe Jack's going to get second and Bruce is going to get third. But I'm just trying to stay with the battle for 5th place here between Gelman and DJ Leggy. DJ Leggy really putting the pressure on here right at the very end of the race, and just nudging to try and get through. There was contact there, but he had sat behind him for a long time and did try and go for that inside line. There's possibly going to be an inquiry there, but it was very minor contact, but there was contact. So we'll stick here, because I don't think Gelman's just done yet, but whether he's got the ability to try and get the power down quite as much, I don't think he quite has. And we're going to see DJ just get away a little bit. It will be, so that'll be Linga Bazinga first, Jack de Menzies second, Bruce Law third, Dyson in 4th, and then DJ Leggy in 5th place, and Gelman or Martin in 6th place, with Snell and Bongo coming in at 7th place from second on our grid, so unlucky for him. 074 Leggy just getting pipped by the younger Leggy there. I think the qualifying order was slightly reversed. Murphy dropping back down to 9th, another disappointment tale from this evening. Mike just about to come across the line now there, in green and red and white Porsche there, and Stoltz, who will finish up the day in 12th place, as he just still struggles to get the power down there in that Porsche. Stoltz just coming through into the last couple of sections. Just struggling to with over rotations there on that panel. So again, Stoltz being able to get some quick laps in here. He's done really well as far as I'm concerned for trying to get that panels round. Again, the panels has no traction control, no ABS, which some of the other cars in this category do actually have, and can be a godsend on certain conditions like wet weather or like really hot conditions, where the back likes to really over rotate, and that panels has got back to torque. So Stoltz will be happy with some of the lap times there, even if not with the overall race performance, as he comes through into the final turns now, and through and across the line. So another win there for Linga Bazinga, as he starts to just put in a victory lap there, and as we can see, the elation in that black and multicoloured